Hello children, welcome back to Amu and You. Today is my sixth story on this session and I have got a beautiful story for you today. This is one of my favorite and when I was a little kid, I used to read it so very often. This is the story of Kabuliwala, the man from Kabul, and it has been written by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. What a genius he was. He's written so many stories for children, for adults, novels, songs, poems. He was an amazingly brilliant person. So, Kabuliwala. Minnie was a 5-year-old sweet girl. And as you would be seeing here in the picture, this is a story many years back, and girls would wear saris. So Minnie is wearing a sari here. Now she was a 5-year-old girl. She was a big chatterbox. But she would keep talking all the time. And she would talk so much that her mother would get annoyed. Would say, Minnie, let me work. Can you stop, please? But she wouldn't. She would keep on asking questions. She would keep on talking. When her mother would force her away, she would go to her father. Now her father was a writer. He wrote stories and he needed sometimes concentration. So he would sit at his desk, writing desk, and write. And Minnie would go there and again start with her questions. What questions? Well, she would talk to her father saying, Father, do you know this watchman of ours is so foolish? He said kawa to kak. Now kak is crow in Bengali. Minnie had no clue that India has so many languages. And Kak is crow in Bengali and Kawa in Hindi. Before her father could try to explain, she would start off with something else. Father, I know the secret of rains. Where do they come from? Bhola has told me. He has said there's a big fat elephant behind the clouds who gathers all the water in his trunk and sprays it over the earth. And that's how the rains happen. And she would clap in joy. Father then one day said, Minnie, please go out and play. Let me do my work, sweet. So she sat down near her father's table and said, I'm not talking anymore. And she started playing on her own pretend game like you all play, no? Suddenly, she heard something. She got up and ran to the window. And she shouted, Kabuliwala, oh Kabuliwala. Kabuliwala, oh Kabuliwala. And father saw, who is she calling to? And he saw there was a big, hefty man. He had a beard, he was wearing a turban, and he had a big sack hanging from his shoulders. He had some boxes of grapes holding in his hands. He turned and looked at Minnie. Minnie saw that Kabuliwala was coming towards their house. Seeing his face, she got so scared that she ran inside. Now, Kabuliwala came to the room, found the little girl not there. So her father had to talk to him. He could not turn him away because his daughter had called him. Then he got to know that his name was Rehmat and his home was in Kabul. Kabul is in Afghanistan. It's a land of desert and mountains. So he would come every year to India to sell dry fruits and make some money for his family. Kabuliwala told him about his country, about his job, about his work, and after a while, eventually when he was leaving, he asked, "Babu, can I get to see the little girl?" Now Minnie's father thought that this is a good opportunity to get Minnie out of this fear. Because what Minnie thought was that this man had children of her age inside the sack, that he had kidnapped them from somewhere and had pushed them in the bag. And he would do the same with Minnie as well. So Minnie's father wanted to remove this fear from Minnie's mind. So he called her out. Minnie, can you please come out? Minnie came out, but seeing the Kabuliwala again, she was filled with fear and she went and stood near her father, clinging onto his hand. Kabuliwala offered her raisins, nuts. She refused to take any. This was the first meeting between the two, the little girl Minnie and Kabuliwala. Days passed. One morning, when Minnie's father stepped out of the house to go for work, he was surprised that in the garden, Minnie and Kabuliwala were sitting and chatting. Minnie was her usual chatterbox, and Kabuliwala was laughing, talking, and he was even speaking in broken Bengali. He was not very fluent in Bengali, but Minnie did not know Hindi, so he was speaking in broken Bengali, and both were having such a great time. Every morning, now Kabuliwala would come to Minnie's house, and they would spend hours chatting and laughing together. They had become best friends. Minnie would ask, Kabuliwala, what is there in your bag? And Kabuliwala would say, a big elephant. And Minnie would roll over in laughter, because now she had seen that there were dry fruits inside the bag and no elephant could fit into that sack. Children, this fear thing is a bit troublesome. We fear because we do not know. So whenever you get to know the truth, you realize there's nothing to fear. Same happened with Minnie. Now she was not afraid of Kabuliwala anymore. They had become very good friends. One winter morning, Kabuliwala was going to all the houses where he had sold dry fruits, and the ones who had promised that they would give money later. Many people say that just make a list of the things and then we will pay together. So he was going from house to house and collecting money because he was planning to go back home. He went to one man's house who had bought things, dry fruits from him several times. But now he refused to give money. He said, I don't know you. I have never bought anything from you. Go away. I don't owe you any money. Rehmat was shocked. He said, I am a poor man, Babu. Don't cheat me. You have bought so many times from me. Please give me my money. I want to go back to my country. But that man, he said, no, I don't owe you any money. Please go away. Now Rehmat got angry. And in that anger, there was a fight between the two. And in that fight, Rehmat took out his knife and threatened to hurt him. And in the fight, actually, the man got hurt by Rehmat. Look at the blood in the knife. You see the blood on the knife blades? So he got hurt. Anger is so bad, Anger does no one any good. If Rehmat wouldn't be angry, he wouldn't have started that fight. He could have keep on asking his money, or else he could have gone and lodged a complaint with the police. But he got angry. And now that man called the police. The police came. The police saw that man bleeding. He handcuffed Rehmat and dragged him away. Now there was a commotion on the road because Rehmat was being taken away. Commotion means noise. So Rehmat was being taken away. People were following him. And listening to that commotion, Minnie's father said, "What is going on out?" He and Minnie went out and saw Rehmat like this being taken away. Her father asked the police and got to know the story. Rehmat said, "Babu, that man was cheating me. He was not giving me my money." So Minnie did not understand anything. She was a little girl. She said, "Kabuliwala, Kabuliwala, where are you going? Where are they taking you?" So Kabuliwala had to give a childish answer. So he said, "Oh little girl, I am going to my in-laws' house. Sasural, as they call in Hindi." Minnie did not know the meaning of Sasural. She started laughing and said, "What would you do there?" So Rehmat said, "If they beat me there, then I will thrash them," and made Minnie laugh again. Kabuliwala was taken away by the police and he was put into jail. Minnie started growing up. She forgot Kabuliwala very soon because she was a little girl. She had other friends to play with. She made new friends, and as she was growing up, she made more and more girlfriends. They played with dolls, houses, and in some years, Minnie grew up to be a young lady, and her parents decided to get her married. The day of the marriage came, and preparations were being made. House was being decorated, food was being cooked, and everyone was going from here to there, busy with something or the other. Minnie's father also was busy supervising things. Suddenly, he heard someone saying, "Salam, Babu." He turned and saw Rehmat standing there. He said, "Rehmat, when did you come?" Rehmat said, "I got released from the jail just yesterday evening, and I've come to meet the little one." Hearing that he has come from jail, Minnie's father got a bit apprehensive. He didn't want a criminal visiting their house on such an auspicious day of Minnie's marriage. So he said, "Rehmat, please go away today. We are very busy. Some important function is there in the house." Now Kabuliwala was sad. He turned and went away, started going away. As he reached the door, he turned back. He came and gave a small bag to Minnie's father. "Babu, please give this bag to the little one." Minnie's father realized that he still is calling Minnie as the little one. Does he not know that in all these years the little one would have grown up? So again he said, "Kabuliwala, you please go away today. Please come on some other day." Very disappointed, Kabuliwala turned to go away. But again, with a bit of courage, said, Babu, can I just see the little one once? Actually, I have a little girl just like yours. She's of the same age. She lives up in the mountains in Kabul. Whenever I come here, I carry this. And saying this, he took out a crumpled piece of dirty paper. It had a small hand imprint of the palm. This is my child's hand. I keep it in the pocket of my dress to feel her with me all the time. Your daughter is the same age of mine, so every time I get to see her, play with her, I remember my daughter. Now Minnie's father understood that why Kabuliwala loved Minnie so much, and he felt very sad that he was away from his family for so many years. He said, wait a second, and he called out to Minnie, Minnie, can you come out for a second, please? Minnie came out, and to Kabuliwala's astonishment, she was dressed up like a bride, a young lady, beautiful bride. Kabuliwala kept staring at her, thinking that his daughter also would have grown up like this. And he was thinking her still to be a little girl. Would his daughter also recognize him? Minnie could not recognize him. So would his own daughter also not recognize him? And in that pain, he sat down on the floor with a hand on his head, deep in thoughts. Minnie went away inside, and Minnie's father could feel the pain in the heart of Kabuliwala. He said, Rehmat, get up. And taking out some money from his pocket, he handed it to him and said, straight go home to your family after so many years. Your daughter too would have grown up to be like her. But I'm sure she'll remember you. She's missing you. So go and meet your daughter, Rehmat. Saying this, he gave the notes and kept them in the hand of Kabuliwala. Kabuliwala was dumbstruck. He just bowed in gratitude to Minnie's father, and with tears rolling down his eyes, turned and went away. Minnie's father was very sad. He could feel the pain of another father. This is what the parents feel for you children. They love you so much. I hope you like this story, children. Narrate the story to your parents. Ask them if they knew it before. And you can tell the story to your friends as well. Spread the word about this storytelling among all your friends, and be happy, be safe, love you. See you again next week with a new story from Ammu and you. Thank you.